Hello everyone. Okay, yesterday, or rather early this morning, I tweeted that I'm going to explain a certain theory about how it's possible that the producers of Smallville and the writers have come up with some of their ideas on some of the episodes that we've seen, especially in season 9, the most recent one being Pandora, which was the episode where we delved further into Lois's flashbacks of when she jumped into the future, a year ahead in the future, and it's all about the solar tower, how they were able to make the sun red so that they could have their powers. Therefore Clark was not able to have his powers. So I was watching a particular episode from Superman the animated series yesterday, and it's episode 6 of series 2 for those of you who are interested, and that basically pretty much highlighted how the Kandorians were able to make the sun red so that they could have their powers. How it worked was, obviously you had the tower, and it had its like solar panels and everything, and what it would then do is it would filter all the yellow rays of the sun, so stop those coming through to the atmosphere, so the only ones that were coming through were the red rays instead. Therefore Superman loses his powers, but if in the case of Smallville the Kandorians were able to gain their power, whereas Clark loses his power. Now this episode must have been released way back in, like, I don't know, 97, 98 perhaps, so yeah, quite a long time ago. So I'm guessing that the producers and the writers may have watched that episode and thought, there's an idea for an episode for Smallville. And I think if that is the case, if that's where they got their idea from, then that's brilliant, because I sat there and I watched that episode and I looked and I was like, hey there, this looks familiar, because it's based on the episode itself centres around a character called an evil character known as Luminous, who was created purposely for Superman the animated series. And we see Superman, starting to feel weak. He's not his usual self. His strength is faltering and everything. He doesn't know why. Then we soon find out that the sky suddenly turns red. The sun itself is in some ways yellow, but it's the red rays that have been filtered through because the satellites are blocking all the yellow ones. And I thought, hang on, did the producers get their idea from this? Is that where it came from? So watch the episode and then watch Pandora again, and then you'll know exactly what I mean. So all I can ask is, to everyone who's involved in Smallville, is this where you got your idea from? There have also been other episodes as well. The whole Clark and Lana love story that has been going on for like 8 seasons. The strangest thing is that in Superman the animated series, Lana knows that Clark is Superman from an early age, because when he was a boy he was using his powers then, and he was always able to see through things. He was running faster than normal, and Lana was seeing all this, so it wasn't as if he was hiding it from Lana. But then after he left Smallville and then moved to Metropolis, and then she started hearing about Superman, well, she instantly knew that it was Clark Kent, because she later, in Superman the animated series, Lana is this well-known fashion designer, and she knows that Superman is Clark, and Clark is like, Superman's like, wait, how do you know who I really am? And she was like, well, come on, hello. We were in high school together, I remember you running so fast and everything, using your powers. So instantly Superman shows up in Metropolis the same time as you do, put 2 and 2 together. So yeah, and that kind of gives me an idea that the producers were going with the Lois and Clark, the Lana and Clark love story for as long as it went, just so that Lana would eventually discover that Clark had powers. Because obviously in Superman the animated series she knows from the offset, whereas in Smallville it took a long time for her to find out. You know, obviously Clark wanted to tell her. We know that he does eventually tell her, but then tragic accident happens, so he goes back in time, does it all over again, doesn't tell her this time. So again, as I say, I mean, people need to realise that Smallville is coming about because of ideas and theories that the producers and the writers are getting from older, like, Superman cartoons and from comics. You know, you can't, if you're going to do a TV show about a superhero and his younger years, you have to go back to other forms of media that have been released. You can't just start from scratch. Yeah, in some ways they are starting from scratch. They are taking their own sort of direction to it, but they are still using storylines and ideas from previous Superman media, from the cartoons, from the comic books, from the TV shows and TV series from the 50s, and, you know, the Lois and Clark, and I'm sure, and all of those, that they are taking in everything that has been released regarding Superman and other DC comic characters, and it's all coming into Smallville. And I think Smallville, yes, it is meant for a new generation, but that new generation need to know where all this information is coming from, where certain characters are coming in from, you know, where the likes of, like, Bruno Mannheim, for example, he only featured in maybe 1 or 2 episodes of Smallville this season, last season even, yet he's like the leader of Intergang in the comic books, you know, so he is a big central character in the comics. But in Superman the animated series he's also quite a big character, but in Smallville he's just a sort of like a small-time crook that suddenly becomes the leader of, you know, this gang, and then it progresses from there. So, you know, characters like him, and people won't know much about Bruno Mannheim from Smallville, whereas, you know, if you've watched things like Superman the animated series, or you've read your comics and you know about Intergang, then you'll know who he is. So yeah, that's just how it all works out in the end. So, but as I say, my theory regarding the whole Red Sun thingy, I think that's where the producers got it from. So sorry this has been quite a long-winded video, but I'm sure you'll understand why. As I've said, I've mixed in a few theories in there and a few other bits and pieces, so let me know what you all think. And as I say, if you do get a chance, watch episode 6 of series 2 of Superman the animated series, then watch Pandora from season 9 of episode, then you'll know what I'm talking about. Thank you.